in the movement. It is people, allies, that say that they are part of this movement, and they come in without black skin. Like, it can't be stifled. The messaging needs to be clear. You come over here and you fuck with us, you gonna get your ass beat.
Because you spit on my property, which means you really wanted to spit on me. And had I not been in the car, you would have. And then you really would have got your ass.
But in your own words, man, what was it about, or what is it about Donald Trump that draws you or made you make the decision to vote and support him?
He's not the norm. I was tired of the norm. Again, I voted for Barack Obama. My dad actually taught me about Trump back in the 90s, so I was used to the rhetoric. My dad's a retired Army Ranger. I'm used to the
Unmuted Nation airs on Boss FM Radio Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern within
I can make my own choice, right? So yeah, I would like to see a change within our community where Black women are not touted as the mule or like the sole supporter or the person that comes in and cleans up everybody else's shit. I would love to see a day where that happens, but some people have the desire to do that. That is what they want their role to be in, and there's nothing wrong with that. I personally don't want that to be my role.
America hates black. I don't think that really registers with people sometimes.
For those that are saying, okay, we hear you, we understand your frustration, we understand your plight, we hear you. Aside from acknowledging, I don't know what else to
do. One, and I know we'll get into this later, but vote. I finally, for the first time, saw more people that were not Black expressing frustration with voter suppression today. And that's a whole different conversation. All of us kind of felt like maybe we were in some bad spots before, but now over the last 4 years, it's like, oh no, we didn't even know what bad was. Like, I don't think anyone ever expected to sit and say, I really miss Bush. Baby, who's that man? Like, is that bad? And I've said that before, and people are like, well, which Bush? Pick one. Neither one of them was as bad as this. You're muted.
Oh. Welcome to Unmuted Nation. I'm Alex Haynes.
And I'm Tiff Lanelle, chewing on an Oreo.
Welcome to the debate after show. Okay, so we've been doing this after every debate. So if you're just now tuning in, or you're tuning in for the first time, this is a user participation show required. So you watched it, you saw it. We want to know your real thoughts. We don't know what platform you're watching on, so comment wherever. We'll try to get it up. If you want to follow along, or if you're tweeting along, use the hashtag Unmuted Nation, or just tweet us directly at Unmuted Nation, and we'll talk to you directly there. All right. First things first. Did you go into this with any expectations?
That it would be stupid.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I thought it would be stupid, or that I thought one candidate would come prepared, and then the other would just have like insults and jabs. I think it fell right in line with my expectations. I think one candidate was very educated and had a solid delivery. I think if you had an argument for Donald Trump, if you're a Trump supporter, well, he held his own. He stood behind his policies. He had great responses. Or you do what Trump supporters have been doing throughout the campaign. Well, Joe looked old. He looked like he was tired. He looks like he needs a nap and his hot chocolate and a belly rub. But none of those things disqualify him or take away the fact that he knew what the hell he was talking about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I tweeted right after the show, the stream that I was watching, George Stephanopoulos was on, and he said, 2 old white men in their 70s on stage tonight. I said, wow, okay, that's...
Well, I'm glad white people are finally acknowledging it. I've been saying, well, I say the same thing, right? Especially for those of you that are watching for the first time, or this is your first election, and you're in Gen Z, or you're in Gen X, and this is your first election. One of your main issues is like, well, why is it just these two? Other people have better policies and better. America notoriously elects old and white. 44 times they elected old and white. Just one time wasn't something different. Just one time. So the fact that a white person is now saying, well, it's old and white, is this what we really want? Maybe they're just sick of their own shit. Maybe that's just where we are.
Maybe that's just where we are. I think that's absolutely where we are. I have seen so many signs, so many yard signs that just say, any functioning adult 2020.
No.
I just know that because Donald Trump was a functioning adult.
Well, and to go further, I think that it is time for us to be done with this anybody can be president rhetoric. That is literally how we got here. You know, pretty much if you're not qualified to be the president.
Yeah, you absolutely
you know what's going on. And parents, I know that you love your child and you see your child in the light. There are a few of you that are honest about your children.
Yeah,
my baby ain't gonna be no president.
We're great.
My baby shouldn't be the president.
Right.
That's what, if you know that your child shouldn't, it should, we got to stop perpetuating that. I think that's one of our main issues. Well, that is how we got where we are.
Yes.
And I will forever believe that, because I have lived through this man's presidency, unfortunately.
The whole thing.
Which I didn't know if I would. I did want to start with a couple of things. I think that the lies, okay? And the thing, like the debate moderators, their job is not to fact check.
Right.
And I know the people are at home, or the moderator somebody should be. The job of the moderator is not to fact check.
Yeah.
The job of the opponent is to know when their opponent is lying, right? So the candidate should fact check. We can't put all this responsibility. Well, you want to, because that's what you've been told to do. You're told not to believe the news because you don't like it. And that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So the era of misinformation that we're in right now is fueled by misinformation by the leader of this country. And so now there's a reckoning coming, because what I watched tonight is Donald Trump tried to attack Joe Biden like his name is actually Joe Hillary Barack Hussein
Obama
Pelosi Biden.
Good addition. That's a good addition.
Because every argument that he had against Joe Biden was because somebody else did it. He speaks of the issues that whenever he talks about Hillary, he brings up her emails and Benghazi. He talks about Barack because he just doesn't like Barack, right? Nancy Pelosi hates me and she hates everything. And all of these were the arguments that he had tonight. What I saw was him trying to relive the year 2016. Absolutely. Because in 2016, what people don't understand and what he fails to understand is that he was such an out-of-the-box candidate claiming to be something that he wasn't, that everything that he did warranted airtime. It warranted, it really deserved to be covered so that people could see this outrageous, charismatic candidate that was coming out. He was also very entertaining, so it did something for news ratings that had never happened before.
Right.
Now, you made those same people that made you president, because you didn't get elected by the popular vote.
Did not. But
you barely got elected by the Electoral College.
Right.
You were made the president of the United States by the media. And then as soon as they said something you don't like, fake news. And you got people out here believing things like they're dying because they don't believe the news when the news is telling them this is unhealthy, you should do that. Oh, fake news. And that's fine, die. But I think with what he is trying to use that same tactic, nobody covers him live anymore. Like people aren't there. The only people hearing his rhetoric are the people that fell in love with it and made him God, right?
It's not factual. Period.
It was never factual, but it got coverage because he was running for president. Now he's been the president and he's lied over 30,000 times. And
I think that's a low count.
No, we're about 30,000.
We
started the year off at 21.
Okay. So, I feel like with the debates that should be
it went up by the thousands.
Yeah. I feel like it's up there because I feel like he does at least, I'm going to say a smooth 5,000 per debate. We've had 2 that's about 10,000 lies. So I feel like that number should be at least another 10,000 up. That's just my math. But, America's 27th in education. So maybe my math is off. I'm not so smart.
We're here.
And here we are.
So we are not alone tonight. Like I said, if you're watching along, tweet us your comments on Muted Nation. To the people that keep asking, can you call in? No. Like we talked about, like enabling that. No. Tweet
us.
Tweet or jump in the comments. You can do that. We also have some guests here watching or that watch the debate. They're going to share their perspectives with us. And we like this to be interactive. I actually have a guest that was watching. My best friend is here. And
my best friend.
You may hear him because
he's loud.
He's got, whatever. We'll pull him. We'll get some commentary from him. But
the lies.
Yeah, the lies. I don't really know where to begin, so let's bring in Jaleesa, Yuri, and Erica. They're joining us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unmuted Nation. Hey, Jaleesa.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I missed it.
We missed you.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, Jaleesa. Hi, Erica.
So,
and Yuri Owens.
Yuri, Erica,
not the government.
I want to start. Yuri usually would start with women, but you're the odd man out.
Okay.
You and I. What did you watch tonight? Give me your thoughts in 60 seconds.
I think I watched an incumbent who thought he was not the president. It was just very funny to see. I'm just like, who are you debating right now? Are you debating Obama or are you debating Joe Biden? I'm like, I feel like I'm just being sold a really messed up car from a used car salesman. I'm just like, I'm good on this. It's just like very much believe me. I'm still processing, to be honest. But how can you debate and you're the president? I mean, like, stop acting you're actively sitting in this office and you're talking to Joe Biden as if y'all are like both vying for
He's actually sitting in the office like none of the things that are happening are actually happening.
Exactly. It's pretty much that.
That's the most depressing thing. I assume going into this, and that, not to make an assumption, that your mind was made up on who you were voting for before this debate tonight.
Already voted.
Look at God.
It's already done.
Let that be that. All right. Well, Jaleesa, in 60 seconds, what did you see tonight?
I saw Joe Biden being prepared, like I've been seeing for the past few weeks. I expected. I didn't really have real expectations for this debate because it is the last one, and Donald Trump actually said more than he was saying in the other debates. But I feel like he still doesn't know how to really answer questions that have to do with the people. He really only has answers for businessmen or people who hate fracking because that's like his thing right now, just fracking, and it's just, you need to answer the questions, sir. Because if you're not answering the questions, I'm obviously not going to vote for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a multi-million-dollar, empire. I don't make more than $400,000 a year, so you need to talk to me like a regular middle-class person, which he doesn't know how to do.
So when you heard fracking over and over and over, and it's like fracking, and it's not a word that you regularly know, do you check out?
No, I try to research stuff like while they're talking. I try to do my fact checking since the moderator doesn't. But okay, what else?
Okay. I mean, we're gonna go there, but I just like to know, Erica. 60 seconds. What do you think?
This is my Black women is exhausted head wrap. My knot is very large because I'm tired. I think what I saw tonight is Joe Biden was prepared. I agree. I think I did see a little more old man in him than I normally do tonight. I think he did look tired. But they both old, so it is what it is. I think I saw that it's clear to me that the Donald Trump's campaign told him, okay, we told you to be disruptive last time, but it was too much. You got to pull back a tiny bit. So I did see him pull back a little bit, although he was still Donald. He's always going to be Donald.
Do you feel like he listened to his team at all?
Do I think, did he listen to his chief? No. I think that last time all he heard was be disruptive, and he was like, got it. Lost his mind. Well, lost his mind. I don't think he knows where his mind is. I don't think he really has one. But I think this time they were like, we told you to be disruptive. You did too much, so pull back a tiny bit. And so he did pull back a tiny bit and try to show some restraint in the beginning, but towards the end he lost it again. So
he's a child.
Right.
He's a whole child. He doesn't know how to concentrate for a full hour. Definitely not an hour and a half.
I hope, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know that everyone was listening objectively, but was there any clear idea that you felt like Donald Trump articulated that Joe did not?
No.
I wish I had music.
I feel like his articulation was there. I just feel like the facts weren't.
I can agree to that.
Well, so I would say, and I think it's fair for us to go here because in the last 2 weeks, if you followed any media, straight media, left media, right-leaning media, far-right media, they're all of these allegations, and I'm going to use the word allegations because there's no way to viably verify or validate. Although we know that 23%, it's somewhere between 17 and 23% of Black men voted for Donald Trump in the last election. And now there seems to be this uptick in the media of support that Black men have for Donald Trump. Now, one thing that we do know for sure is that the media has never been the media in the country has never been the friend to black men. So to assume that they have black men's best interests at heart when they share these facts, that's one thing. But on the other side, black men also have historically been or aligned themselves with patriarchy and white male patriarchy and aspiring to be like the white man. So if they see that in Donald Trump, that it could be a viable thing. Additionally, there is an education gap there, and it's not deliberate education, but I say this on Unmuted Nation all the time. You try to piece together the pieces that you don't know. So if you know a little bit of information, you know how the government works, you think you know a little bit about the political scheme or the spectrum, and then you hear some misinformation that sounds like it's right or it sounds attractive to you, you're gonna lean towards that, which is how we get insects like Candace Owens. But to say the least, I feel like Donald Trump had a very clear call out because he was also hearing that black men are running to support him in droves. And so as he would attack Joe Biden and talk about the crime bill, he emphasized how it harmed not just the black community. He stopped saying that, but black men. You did this to black men. You did that to black men. And he said it 3 times. Do you think that his intent to spark or dog whistle, as he often does to black men, do you think it worked?
I don't know if it worked. I will say I hear you and I agree with you. He did say that a couple of times now that I'm thinking about it. I will say, and I was on the phone with Yuri during the last part of like the final parts of the debate, and I did say to Yuri, I don't think that maybe with Joe Biden, but definitely not with Kamala, I don't think that we have had any like flat-footed, face-to-face enough flat-footed face-to-face conversations with the record on criminal injustice or criminal justice, especially not with Kamala.
I agree with you 100%. We have not had honest conversations.
Right.
That was really my gripe with Kamala when she was running for president, that anytime it was brought up or she was asked to address it, she would just smile and say, we can talk about that. And her smile kills everything. And I just really couldn't take it. And I'm like, if she is the VP, I love her smile, but that is not an answer.
Right.
It's not an answer. It's not a sufficient answer. So I guess I was hoping I was not the only one that heard Donald be really, really intent in his delivery and his "you did this to black men," so that black men could be like, yeah, you did this to us. Now, I still have a fundamental problem with what Donald Trump says he's done, and what is often cited a win for the black community is always crime reform and a crime bill. It's always shaped around crime. And I said Tuesday, I don't know any criminals. So thank you. I think that there are many people that are in jail that don't need to be there. But you cannot shape us or loop us all into this group because we're not all criminals, and some of us don't know any. Some of us have never known any. But I don't know. That's me.
It's definitely something I thought about when Joe Biden announced his running mate was Ms. Harris, because of, like, you know how we live on Twitter and we just see all the bad things about politicians. And the more and more I research about the crime bill, like, because Donald, he just kept, just throwing it in our faces, like, black people just know the crime bill is against y'all. And when I looked it up, it actually was against us. So, like, I was kind of conflicted for a second. I'm not gonna lie. I really wasn't sure, like, what the narrative was on why he was pushing us to know that why the crime bill was being passed, and why he mentioned 1994 specifically.
I think your perspective.
That was that year. Wasn't Rodney King 94?
91. Or was it 94? I need a fact check.
Can we get a fact check, please?
Someone will tell me. Lisa, I want to ask you, though, because I think your perspective is really needed because I routinely said that Gen Z is going to be the silent sweeper because the focus of both campaigns has been on swing voters in swing states. But one thing that people fail to realize is that although they live in your house and you still call them children, or you still pay their bills, they may not live in your house and you still think they're children, they aren't. And so the seniors that were just in high school for this last year that had to spend their school days and their evenings at home, they remember. Those same kids that graduated and were supposed to go away to college, some of them are doing college at home. They remember. Those people that graduated college and should have went off to their jobs and to their own homes are back at home. They're all going to vote. And most likely, their vote is not going to go into in favor of people that they deem to be oppressive. Now, I think what we've also seen, which doesn't get polled, we don't see that all of our social media platforms have been pushing voter registration, mail in your ballot. I cannot get on Facebook or Instagram or any platform without being alerted to vote. And you don't see that in the mainstream, so I don't really know. I believe campaigns are probably aware, but I don't think that they understand. What we do know is that as of yesterday, we had over 33 million people that had already voted.
Exactly.
And we're kind of in a situation that we haven't been in before. So I think that when, at least specifically my question, you keep hearing 94, 94, 94. You basically can't even fathom 94 because
I wasn't born.
You were like, it was just not a thing, right? And so when you hear it, what is the most compelling thing for you? Because I feel like I know that your generation is going to vote. They've already been very disruptive. You know, they bought up all the seats from Trump's one of his rallies that he shouldn't have had. They were crazy on the ratings, swinging the ratings. TikTok showed up again to swing the ratings at the town halls last week and put Joe Biden over 1 million viewers over what Donald Trump had on 3 different television stations. But what is most important to you? Because I know when I talk to your generation, a lot of people are very frustrated because they wanted Bernie.
Right. But like you just mentioned, it's the college thing for me. Like, I'm 21. I'm supposed to be graduating college this year, next year-ish. I need to know what's going to happen in the next 4 years with my job, with unemployment, with Corona. Like, how are we dealing with that? I personally feel like I shouldn't be sending my little brother to school right now. It doesn't make any sense because there are some people who are still at home unemployed, but we're sending, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So the things that I look at when I want to vote for somebody or elect somebody to be my president for the next 4 years is what are you doing for education, and not just prison reform, because like you said, I don't know any criminals either. No one in my family, no one in my friend group. Like, I don't. So I'm not really even familiar with those type of things. And they like to kind of push that on the young Black and just colors, period. Just the young Black colored community. Like, anything that we do for y'all is for crime reform. We don't care about that. I need a job. I need money, but I don't have enough money. I don't make more than $400,000. So Trump, you're not really talking to me. Who is talking to me?
Well, I think that's crucial, right? Because I think it's good that and there are different things that are affecting different people, right? So you are voting not just your conscience, but you're voting the issues that you feel directly connected to, or the things that directly affect you. Tiff and I talk a lot about issues, and if it was all about, and I think this is really specific. Nobody's required to vote in the best interest of their family or their community. You're not required to do that. You can literally vote for what's best for you. Black people fall into a really weird conundrum there, because while you could vote for what's best for you, for 244 years, you've got a country that has always bet against you. And right. So I think that voting in the best interest of the country, and when I talk to people on both sides of this this specifically, but when I talk to people that are like, especially recent Trump supporters, I had to start distinguishing, right? You've got Republicans, you have people that are diehard Trump supporters, they fell in love with his rhetoric and how he entertains, and then people that have just now realized that they're jumping into politics, they have limited information. But for me and mine, bro, Trump has always been for his family. He's always gone after money that he could get for his family specifically. He only cares about him. I only care about me and mine. And so it's Trump 2020. My counter to that, it's less an argument, but my counter to that, as a wealthy white old man, Trump can lean on the support of the system that was designed to not only allow him to thrive, but also protect him. You have to vote in an interest that is actually going to enable that for you before we get anywhere. And so I think lots of confusion, lots of frustration, but I think the conversation worth having. What I'm feeling is that this swayed nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. I feel like if you went into, first of all, if you went into this, I saw a meme on Twitter while I was watching the debate that said, if you are still undecided, is it the crack? What is it that you are smoking? Because what else does this asshat have to do to prove that he's unworthy of being the leader of this country? I just don't, I really don't understand. But all of that aside, we still didn't really get a firm, like, normally when you watch these debates, and someone said tonight that this was their first time watching a debate like this, or watching a debate, period. If you've never seen a debate before, then you don't know that these are normally the times when they go at each other about policies, not tit for tat, kindergarten, anything you can do, I can do better type of going at it with each other. Debates are supposed to be, here are my policies and plans on healthcare. Okay, well, here are mine. Here are where we differ. Here's where we can agree. And you do that for each topic. And instead, we're getting this, well, Biden took money from international agents. Well, Trump has had interference, and we won't even go to the last election. Grow up. Like, at some point, even the folks who are voting on one topic can't even get that topic heard. We can't even get the policies and plans for that topic. Jaleesa's talking about a job. Criminal justice reform is me. That's me all day long. This is me is she is her, all of that. And I can't seem to get a firm answer on what exactly are you all going to do and how are we going to do it. I don't want to hear Trump lie not one more time about everything he's done for criminal justice reform. You ain't done shit. Let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. That's on that. And so even those who are voting on one topic, you're not swaying them with these debates because you're not saying anything. It's just going head to head with jabs, and that doesn't solve anything.
I think, and why I keep like trying to pull things out of this debate that weren't there. I found myself during part of it checking out, like not really being as engaged. Not the fact that I've seen that the original debate, I saw the vice presidential debate, but literally when it came to, I could feed them their answers, and I was feeding them the answers before they said it. Right? I think as soon as Biden brought up, he's like, you kept kids in cages. We heard his wife, Melania, was released in a tape saying it this week that Obama did it first. So I could already feed Trump that line. Obama did it first, right? And it's just like, what did Obama do? People are cloudy on it, so it's really just the strategy of sowing confusion, right? So I think what I think we're going to find out what matters is people are going to vote based on, again, their conscience and their convictions. If kids in cages is a real problem for you, if you don't understand how immigrant people bring their families over to a country for seeking help and freedom and asylum, and then the kids end up in cages, for some people, they're like, well, I don't care about that. I have more money in my bank account. You got to live with that.
That's what I've been hearing. That's definitely what I've been hearing a lot from my generation and y'all's generation mainly. Like, oh, y'all kids are dumb. Y'all don't know. He making us bread, though. He the only one giving us stimulus checks. I'm like, he didn't give you anything.
Ignorance. Because he has it and he cannot, and he's not authorized to give us anything. Like no check, no. But he really he know what I admire about Donald Trump is that he knows the ignorance of the people. It almost hurts to say that, but
I agree.
It's just
that's just the truth. That's just what it is. Like, I mean, I think, and I tell people this all the time, by design, taking civics out of school and not teaching critical thinking was the long game that anybody in the United States who wants to run for office, or just anybody who's had any kind of a hand in like just education, they knew that the minute that you can take away the masses' ability to think for themselves, that's how you can control them. And that's what I see a lot of times, like when I, have come across people that are Republican or, support Trump. It's just like there's no logic. It's basically whatever come out of his mouth, that's what I'm going to believe, and you can't tell me anything otherwise. No, I don't want to look at this critically. No, I can't critique him. You're a hater. That's, what do they call it now? Cancel culture. Like, that's basically all that I'm hearing. I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired. Because arguing with you is like...
I'm tired of it too. I think that at a certain point, I am routinely frustrated, with ignorance when it has nothing to do with politics, right? When somebody writes me an email that without punctuation, I have a real problem with their fourth grade teacher, Miss Smith or Miss Johnson or Miss Buffington or whoever it was. I have a huge problem with your fourth grade teacher. I have further problems with, the fact that we perpetuated, and it's okay for people to be dumb.
Right.
And so now that we've made that okay, and then we have, everybody gets a ribbon, everybody gets an award, everybody is the same. That's not true. But now we have this society, and we have this, we're just in this place that people literally don't know.
You can't keep it a book anymore.
They don't know. So they don't know. So you can't even be real with them. You can't have an honest conversation with somebody because they don't know. So if they don't know, they're like, well, I got my check, I got my money. It came from Trump.
It didn't. It
but
really
you just sat through 13 years of education, at least general education, in a country that should have told you, first of all, this country is a supposed democracy, right? So we don't we don't get anything from the king.
Right.
We don't have a king. The president isn't like a king.
Not even.
And the moment you start to believe that, and the moment that you start to literally everything that Hitler did was legal.
Right.
100% agree.
And people hear it like, well, Hitler was bad.
Nope.
And he massacred millions of Jews. Everything he did was legal because the people stopped questioning. The people stopped holding the government accountable. The people were ignorant. And so when you're ignorant and you're unlearned, you don't know. And America has the same symptoms right now. People are deliberately and willfully ignorant. And so this is what we're dealing with. We do this. The entire reason that we planned the after show and the fact check was to try to bring clarity for people that didn't have it. And in some ways, we've been able to do that. I think at this point, people know. And if you don't know, I don't believe you're registered to vote.
I think that,
and I'm that's it.
At some point, we have to, and we've made this. Maybe I've made this comparison before. I don't recall, but when you take a look at the pathology of how Hitler evolved into what Hitler became, Trump isn't too far off from that same type of evolution of, insanity. I don't really have another word for it. I mean, and maybe it's just me, I could have sworn when they were talking about immigration and they were talking about people on the board at the border and in cages and families being separated and dying When they moved on to the next topic, he said good. Now, I could have been wrong, but I saw that all over Twitter as well. At some point, and this has been one of my main issues with this election this year, at some point, we have to get a decent human being in that office. And he is just not a decent human being. Like, period. I don't understand how anyone can excuse and not take responsibility for the almost 220,000 lives that have been lost in this pandemic. When you had a choice to make a different choice. There was a pandemic task force that you dismantled not long after you got into office. There were plans that you just ignored. Even when it came to the Russian and Iranian interference in the election, I knew about that. Why aren't you doing something about it is the problem. And then just the blatant lies. A simple Google search will disprove half of the BS that he is spewing out. So at some point, we have to recognize that some of this, a lot of this, if not all of this, is willful ignorance. It's willful at this point. And I don't understand what it's going to take to get us to a point where we say, this man is an idiot.
I think the only thing I know to do is to continue to call out the lies.
Yeah.
And I know that we've got some technical issues. So the way that this pops up, I know we have a tweet from Donald Trump, one of the he's an old gas bag. So he tweets at 4:00 in the morning. I'm just now waking up and he's up on the toilet, tweeting away. But he literally, like Joe Biden said, like, you are a racist. You literally said things about Mexican rapists and all of these things. And of course, right into my messages comes this tweet. Sadly, the overwhelming amount of violent crime in our major cities is committed by Blacks and Hispanics. A tough subject must be discussed. This tweet from June 5th, 2013 at 4:05 a.m. Anything confusing there? Did you see anything confusing? Are you confused? Does that seem racist to you? Does it seem racist as hell?
It definitely seems racist as hell. It also seems racist and even the small, not small things that he says, like, I can't even see out into the audience. It's so dark. Sir, what? Like, you can't say that. You cannot talk about.
Sadly, the overwhelming amount of violence, you know what he's never tweeted about? Sadly, the overwhelming amount of school shootings happened by white boys.
Can we actually call a state that the domestic
all of them, all to date.
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one. Can we talk about the fact that your police officers that you care so much about, and God bless them. I know some of them and not all of them are bad. Let me say that right there. That's a blanket statement. But can we talk about how you can take a domestic terrorist that went into a church, sat in Bible study, and shot up those same members of that church
to Burger King,
took him into custody peacefully, took him to Burger King, but you cannot have a conversation with somebody at a Wendy's or in a drive-thru or on the side.
Or they're walking back to their car to get their ID.
Or someone who's in their car minding their own business, Sandra Bland. You go into somebody else's house and shoot them with no justification, Brianna.
Somebody that's in the middle of the road because their car broke down and they're trying to wave down help, and your husband sees him from the helicopter up top and says that looks like a scary guy, and you shoot him and kill him, and you get off. So those are the kind of conversations that we have to have. So I really don't actually want to hear about any work you've done in criminal justice reform until we really talk about. But I think it's important because that's really where the targets were tonight. Like he kept saying, and he keeps saying, and I don't ever see anybody. Like Black people don't, like y'all just sit here and believe it. I've done the most since Abraham Lincoln for the Black community. Let me tell you about Abraham Lincoln, which I have to bring this up all the time, which I really be trying not to do. I try to leave Abraham Lincoln, and I try to let him just rest in hell. I literally
not burst your bubble about this man.
That's just it. Abraham Lincoln, you were taught the same history I was taught, that he freed the slaves But the man was a racist, a flagrant racist. From his speech, I don't have the visual, so you'll have to follow along with me. His speech, September 18th, 1858. Basically, I'm not even going to paraphrase it because I want you to hear it in its fullness. This is Abraham Lincoln. Okay. While I was at the hotel today, an elderly gentleman called upon me to know whether I was really in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negroes and white people. He called upon me to know if I was really in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negroes and white people. Sounds like the current president with the blacks. While I had not proposed to myself on this occasion to say much on that subject, yet as the question was asked of me, I thought I would occupy perhaps 5 minutes in saying something in regards to it. I will say then that I am not, nor have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the black and white races. That I am not, nor ever have been in favor of making votes of jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say in addition to this, that there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. This is Abraham Lincoln. And inasmuch as they cannot so live while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any other man, in favor of having the superior position be assigned to the white race. Abraham Lincoln, September 18th, 1858. You look me in my face today on October 22nd, 2020, and say systematic racism does not exist. When President Abraham Lincoln said it out of his mouth that he never has desired for there ever to be any equality, them to intermingle, them to hold office, them to intermarry, and that white people should be superior.
But and
he's the president that freed the slaves.
That is the ideology that is interwoven into the very fabric of the making.
That is America, indeed.
That is America, period. And I was having a discussion today with some colleagues, and we were talking about the difference between abolition and equality. They're not the same, and the two are not to be confused. Abraham Lincoln may have freed the slaves, but that quote right there, and let's be honest, many other statements from him and our other founding fathers prove that they were never really.
Going further, Abraham Lincoln wanted to free them and send them back to Africa, but he could not afford to do so, which is where the 40 acres and the mule came in, which also never happened.
Right.
But you're the best president, and you've done the most for black people since Abraham Lincoln.
Where? How? Where? And he keeps talking about HBCUs, and because I'm an HBCU grad, I am constantly triggered every time he mentions it. Every time he mentions it. You have not done a damn thing for the black community. And you definitely haven't done anything for HBCUs. Let's be clear. That little sham of a meeting that they had at the White House, we won't even get into that. But the audacity to say some of this, the hatred that comes out of his mouth is just, the audacity of it just boggles my mind. And I don't even know why at this point. I'm not surprised by any of the shit that comes out of his mouth, because it has been coming out of it for generations. And to do something like, you took out a full page ad to criminalize the Central Park Five, and then you want to use that same mouth to say you're not racist? Please back off with that. Like, enough is enough. You are not a decent human being. And I have said it every time I've been on Unmuted Nation. I'll continue to say it until he's out. He's got to go. This is unacceptable behavior for a human, let alone for a president of the country, of the melting pot that we are supposed to be. And he's not even smart. Like, this man literally.
Again, I feel like rehashing that is almost pointless, right? There's not a requirement for him to be smart. There's not even a requirement for him to come and perform the regular aptitude of a normal, functional human being, let alone president.
Right.
So no, I'm not surprised that, and out of all of because new rule, I feel like the new rules were also part of the problem tonight.
How so? I don't disagree, but
because Donald Trump, we need to see Donald Trump step on his own feet. And as he started to do it, he was running out of time. I really feel like allowing him to self-destruct has been the best strategy. Joe really staying out of the way. Joe was a little slow. Erica said Joe was a little slow tonight, and he was a little slower than I would. But I wouldn't mind somebody. I would actually like somebody to deal with this country slowly.
Yes,
I actually need somebody that can really take their time with where we are, because we've rushed through so many things and we've half-assed so many things that we aren't really confident, and we are really on really I have the right word. I don't want to say this word. We're just really on some tumultuous ground right now. And it is not looking good.
Right.
We can go like we can do the generational thing. It's a generational problem. We could go there, but there's no need to go there. We just need to talk about what needs to happen, what the truth is, and get past these lies. There are so many lies, and the strategy. I don't even know if we have it, because we don't have the normal stuff tonight. The strategy, Donald Trump's strategy, is literally to lie, distract, so that there's so much misinformation you don't know what to believe, so you just believe him.
Right.
And it's what he does.
I want to be clear too. You mentioned, and we've talked about this before, when we've talked about getting involved in your even local politics. I think that there's a misconception of what the educational requirements are to get involved in politics. To be president of the United States, there are 3 requirements. You have to be a natural-born citizen of the United States, you have to have been a resident for 14 years, and you have to be at least 35 years of age. That's it. There are no educational requirements for even being the leader of this country, because, and one of the senators said this in the SCOTUS confirmation. Now, he bragged about it, and he shouldn't have, but the Constitution, the document that has been running this country since it was written, has not been changed enough to account for where we are today. They weren't talking about college degrees being a requirement when the Constitution was written. That wasn't a thing. And so when you look at it now, you really, like, it's time for change. It's time for...
But you know what? I'm actually going to spar with you there. I don't know that that's the right move.
What, requiring it? Now, I'm not saying that a college degree should be required, but I am saying that we have not shifted the way that we operate in this country to get along with the time.
But nothing, you're absolutely right. Nothing has shifted, right? The only thing that is shifting is how much it costs to buy a house.
Right. But not
how much it costs to get the education, which on paper to the rest of the world outside of, and it's getting worse because of Trump, it really doesn't mean anything.
Not a thing.
We are in the first generation of people that were calling their loan companies and telling them to take the degree back.
Because had I known you can actually have this, it doesn't mean a hill of beans at this point. Like, as soon as I graduated undergrad, the requirement went up to, oh, now you need a postgrad degree. Well, I just got this expensive ass piece of paper, and now you want me to get another one before you can even get me a job that's going to make it so that I can actually live by my...
Let's be honest. It went up not because they needed you to have the education, because the retirement age also moved. So when people were working for 30 years and then moving out of the way, now we get to the spots where, like, the age where we should be middle management, senior management. And no disrespect, Miss Gladys, move. I know that you can't, though, but you're in the way. And so there's this whole system that's been created, and it affects everything. The problem with our education system right now spills over into the fact that it takes us 10 years to pass a law to keep up with where we are in society, and almost 20 years to pass laws to catch up with technology. It's because everything is antiquated. Well, it's a living document, and it is a constitution that will stand the test of time for the ages. How so? The Republic is literally 244 years old.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, that's very, very young. It's very young. It's very juvenile. It's very arrogant. It's very prideful.
It really goes, I mean, as I was listening to the play date tonight, as one of my friends called it, and them going back and forth, Trump was talking about windmills and the damage that it causes, and all of that. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of watching documentaries, and especially docuseries on different countries and how they operate and do things. We as a country are really behind in quite a few things. The innovation and the technology to live, there's no other way to say this, but live off the land, in for lack of a better way to say it, is sensational in other countries. They are using wind power to provide electricity to full cities. They are using water energy to provide electricity to full cities. They are on, zero, again, the Paris Accord. We need leadership that takes a holistic look at some of the bigger picture things to get us moving even in the right direction. But if we keep at this cycle of having a president who kind of makes a couple of moves, has to spend their first 4 years in office cleaning up the mess that a previous administration has left, whoever gets into office next is going to spend at least the next 2 to 3 years cleaning up the trash that has been left by this administration, which means they're really going to need a second term, or we're going to need another 4 years of someone who's just as good, if not better, to carry on the work that this next administration does, which prayerfully is not Trump, because I really don't think we can make it through another 4 years. But it's going to take consistent administrations moving us towards the goals of innovation and getting us to a place where we need to be, where we can even compete with what other countries are doing to keep up with the times.
Well, Barack Obama said it best, and he was so spot on yesterday when he basically was saying all of the things that Trump has done and kind of disrupted, and the fact that he's not even really, he's just not a legitimate president, things that get under Donald Trump's skin, but also the basic things. Like, we can't keep up when you have a billionaire or whatever she is running the Department of Education, somebody that's never worked in a classroom and has no idea how to run the department. You can have school choice, but if school availability or if school resources are limited, schools will be full. Everybody will be choosing the same schools. While I don't advise it based on lived experience, we have lots of problems and lots of things that we need to solve. I know that we're running out of time, and so I think my frustration here, I'm frustrated. I did not enjoy this last debate. Let me summarize and say that. I feel like it should have been canceled as well.
Yeah.
I can't say that I would have watched another town hall either.
Agreed. I don't know what, at this stage, I honestly don't know.
I also can't ask for any days to come fast enough because I asked for 2020, and I want to send that back. Let's bring our guests back and just see their final thoughts. If they're walking away to the polls with any other knowledge or any other feelings or any tips, are you even encouraged enough to talk to people? I just feel like, and I don't ever feel like this. I feel like I'm gonna just go, and I'm gonna come on home.
I feel that.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I feel like I'll just go.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I went with my cousin, and me and her, we talked. You're here to vote. Do what you got to do. I'm going to do the same thing. Don't talk to me. What directions do I need to follow? Okay, I'm in and out. Let's go. I want my peppermint and my sticker. I'm ready to go.
Definitely want my sticker so I can put it on Instagram and let people know I voted.
That part, because that's the one time I need.
I probably won't remember to put it on Instagram.
I need you to flex real quick, like what you doing?
I think it's a way that people are saying like, "Hey, I voted, so if you don't vote, like you're kind of lame." Everyone's trying to make it a cool thing, you know, all the commercials.
It needs to be.
No,
a cool
it definitely
thing.
needs to be that though. Like I mean, it's just this. That's a fad that everybody needs to jump on.
My mom is a poll worker. Actually, she's an assistant manager at one of the polls in Cobb County here in Georgia. She's been doing that for some years now. And so it's been very interesting to hear from her about what's going on and how people are, you know, making complaints about certain things, about how some of the machines aren't working, they can't power up. So we've been having quite a few conversations. She's going to training tomorrow, but she's done it quite a bit, but you know, they have to go to training every time. So she has a decent understanding, you know, she has an understanding on what she needs to do, but she said, like the last time she voted, she ran one of the polling places as a manager in the primary. And she was like, we've never had this many problems. It was an actual shit show. So I'm interested to hear from her about what her training is like tomorrow. And then I also told her, like, y'all get them tickers out, you get that paper out, you pack it up and you roll. Because she's in county. And
absolutely. Please let us know what her training's like and what she learns and what she's being prepped to expect. I think so many people are also nervous. And this is why we can't continue with a presidency like this where people are nervous to live. They're nervous to exercise their actual right because you've threatened to have people there waiting for them. And this includes immigrants or people that may have outstanding issues with the law for one reason or another. It doesn't matter what the reason is. These people are in fear, and him and his party, they've been stoking this fear. It's just really disgusting. And I'm tired, y'all. We will continue there are no more debates, thank God. So this is the last debate after show of 2020, period. God, please, I hope I'm still not doing these in 2024. But 2016 gave me whiplash. It just really, it was just really rough. What we will do is to continue to have these conversations, definitely on Unmuted Nation. Tiff Talks is launching the day before the election, so I can't even imagine what that show is going to be like, but I'm pretty sure you'll want to make sure that you're always locked into that as well. Final words, Tiff, anything from you?
For those who do want to get involved in Georgia or any other state, I am working with some organizations to do some line warming, some poll chaplaincy, and a couple of other initiatives. So if you are looking for that, please send me a message on my Facebook page.
What was that?
Line warming, poll chaplaincy. So basically, if you want to, they're trying to be slick, basically, with some of the things that they're doing at the polls. So a lot of organizations, for example, were planning to take snacks and water and things like that to people who are in these 8-hour lines trying to vote. They're trying to basically enforce a law that's not really a law against doing that. But if you want more information on things like that, or if you want to get involved and do anything or find out more information, please send me a message at my Tiffanie Lanelle Facebook page, and I'm happy to connect you with a partner organization. But at the end of the day, if you don't do anything else, please go vote. Please, 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 ma'am, please, sir, and everyone in between. Mm-hmm. Please go vote.
Please go vote. Yuri, Jaleesa, Erica, thank you so much for joining the nation tonight. Of course, we appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Of course, Unmuted Nation is here Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. on Boss FM Radio. Download the app, Boss FM Radio, from your app store. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and all those other places at Alex Unmuted. All right. As always, remember, today is greater. Believe it, speak it, live it. You have to make the choice to be great. Your situation is not your destination. Make your destination the polls on November 3rd. Okay. Make sure you vote. Take people with you to vote. And people that you know that aren't even registered, let them ride. They can't go in, but let them ride. We all need to vote. All right. Unmuted Nation is out of here, and we will actually see you next week.